Dr. Cint Gilstrap presents Down to Earth Talk, conversations that inspires, educates, and are thought-provoking. Don't miss Down to Earth Talk, streaming live every Friday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. It's Down to Earth Talk with Dr. Cint Gilstrap. For more information how you can be a guest on Down to Earth, simply visit www.cintgilstrapministries.com. Join Apostle Cint Gilstrap as she partners with Brighter Day Missions Liberia in expressing the love of God through educational empowerment, fighting for the rights of the children of Liberia, and hunger alleviation. Your love gift of any amount helps staff educators, provide food for the children, educational equipment, and so much more. To partner with Apostle Cint Gilstrap with Missions to Liberia, or for more information, simply visit www.cgmenterprises.org. The seed that leaves your hand never leaves your life, but goes into your future where it multiplies.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Down to Earth Talk tonight. I am none other than Dr. Cint Gilstrap, and I am so excited for this segment on tonight. Those of you that are joining us for the first time, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence on this platform. Listen, we are excited. I need you all to know and understand. Go ahead and tag, share, and invite others. Also, we're also streaming from YouTube, so you all go ahead and subscribe on YouTube channel. I'm excited about tonight, and I hope that you all are ready for an awesome conversation. I literally love this man on tonight. He is such a dear friend. He's also a brother, and he is I'm a close friend to his mom. So we have a lot of years that we've shared just commingling in ministry. So I thank God for it. I want you all to know, I put the disclaimer out, we are a thought-provoking platform, no judgment at all, because we come from all walks of life. We have open discussions. This is just not a spiritual platform, but we minister to those that need a word from the Lord, of whatever conversation that will be impactful for those individuals. So tonight, I want you all to go ahead and tag, share, and invite on tonight, because I'm excited to be here with you all. And I'm telling you, we're going to dive in. Those of you that are musically inclined, you're going to want to stay around to hear what he has to say, because it's all about the music. Again, I want to thank Tasman Sutherland and everything that he does with Huge Impact Network. He is awesome and amazing behind the scene, and he is the force that drives everything that I do. So I thank God for Tasman. So if you all need his assistance, he is available to offer you price quotes and things of that nature. So he is just amazing. He's multi-talented in so many areas, and so I'll share that information with you afterwards. But with that being said, again, I'm excited to be here. We're back in 2024 with Down to Earth Talk. We also have another segment that we do on every third Thursday, and it's called Rescue, Refine, Restore Coaching and Counseling. And yesterday we had a powerful woman. Her name was Shannon Savoy. Amazing. She talked about the narc living life, and I'm telling you, dealing with narcissistic people. You all go ahead and tag, share, and invite the call tonight to your Instagram and Facebook pages, your YouTube channels, because this is going to be a very powerful segment and conversation. The hour go by so fast, so we only have a short time to just dive in to see and hear what God wants to say tonight, or to speak through us. We may not even go scripture. Listen, I'm telling you, this is a conversation you're going to want to hear. With that being said, this man that I'm bringing to the platform on tonight, he's like a brother to me. He's also have assisted me so many times as my minstrel, and I actually call him the maestro himself, because he's gifted in the area of music. But based on that, he's also an entrepreneur by heart. His life has really taken off in a direction that is just mind-blowing. I remember over the years him receiving prophetic words from Apostle Michelle L. Dixon, from myself, from his mom, from many others that have prophesied in his life, and we now see the fruits of the labor that God is doing. He is a vast, listen, music is not a problem. This is one person that he could, I believe he hear the notes of music in his sleep. But I want to bring him to the platform so he can kind of introduce himself to you all. So without any further ado, I present to some and introduce to others none other than the maestro himself, Mr. Jeremy Beckett. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Oh man, I'm blessed to be on this. Oh man, this platform tonight with the diva herself, Dr. Cint Gilstrap.
Amen. I know when I brought you on, you was like, you want the whole time. I was like, I just want to have a conversation. I need
Okay.
the people to hear your voice. So again, thank you for joining the platform on tonight. I'm definitely excited and I'm so honored that you did take out your time because I know you're extremely busy. And we're going to just dive in. So the segment we're talking about tonight is none other than you already know music. How did you get started? At what age did you realize that you were musically inclined?
Well, it all started, I guess, when I was born. Came out of my mom's womb,
Wow.
banging on whatever I could bang on. Started on
Wow.
drums. So I always get on to my parents, my father, Elder, and Dr. Catherine Beckett, is my parents. Yeah. So it all
Wow.
started back in '85. That's when it all
Wow.
started. Hmm.
Wow. Let me share something with you, y'all. First of all, everyone in the family is anointed. Everyone has the gift of music or some
Yeah.
sort of art.
Yeah.
It's amazing when I see Dr. Beckett, her husband, and her children together. And what? Listen, they're a church and a force all by themselves. One
Oh, thank
is
you.
a gospel comedian, and
Yeah.
then of course we're going to dive into the next part of what Jeremy actually does. And he also travels this nation with ministry and music, and it's amazing. And then the mom is, I call her the preaching machine. The woman of God can preach. Listen, she'll preach the walls
Yes.
wet. I'm telling you. So I'm
Yeah.
excited. Then his little sister, she's a psalmist, and it's
Mhm.
amazing. They have an awesome family. So I thank God for the
Yeah.
Beckett family. They have always supported my ministry. I've always supported them, and I love this family. It's amazing that you said that you started when you was a little boy even in the womb. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't confess that and don't really know and understand. So it's okay to actually say that you
Yeah.
already knew, or even your parents knew that you're going to be extraordinary in that area,
That's
in
right.
that genre by itself. That's amazing.
Yes, it
Um,
is.
so tell me this.
Okay.
At what point did you make a decision to just step out? And how old were you? What did it take? All of those things that people need to know who's interested in music, because I understand that music was created from heaven. The sound of music comes from heaven. And
Exactly.
so how did how were you able to tap into this?
Um, I was able to tap into it because my mom started pastoring at the year of 1991. And so my dad, he's definitely musically inclined. He started
Wow.
on bass, and then he started making his way to keys, lead. But it was just a certain sound that he used to play that I couldn't stand. So I was like, he's still down here. We trying to go here. So I just stepped out on faith, man, and just started picking it up, playing by ear, and then next thing you know, I'm where I am today. So it all started back in '91. Of course, I was on drums. Um, that was my first gift, and then just because of what was partaking in me as a young child, coming out of a
Mm,
Pentecostal ministry in
mhm.
Savannah, Georgia, Dr. Ida Achiever, and it's like we had a lot of music inclined minstrels that was able to come out of that ministry, and I was one of them. So I thank
Wow.
God for that. So it was just all about the roots and what was grounded in me.
Wow, that's amazing. So you all started in Savannah, Georgia.
Well, our home church is in Savannah, Georgia, but my mom was asked to pastor in Macon, Georgia. So that was our first
Mm,
ministry in Macon, Georgia. Yes.
wow. So if others are listening now,
Hmm.
because many people operate and flow by the spirit of fear.
You're right.
So, what advice could you give them as it relates to music and them having their own talents, but they're afraid at this point? They want to do it, they want to get out the boat, but I'm afraid, it's a tug of war in their spirit. What advice would you give them on tonight?
My advice would be stay humble, build a prayer life so that God can manifest and use you to get this the spirit of fear out of you. I think oftentimes there's a lot of minstrels out here that can be arrogant, that can be, they have the gift of knowing, but I always go by the gift of allowing God to use the anointing to come over your life. So if I was somebody that was trying to, or if I had an advice, I would just tell somebody, just stay humble. Find you somebody that could be your mentor, that will work with you, and then just put the time in. Just
Okay.
put the time in. But spend a lot of time with God. Spend a lot of time with God.
Now, that's good. I never thought about music mentor. I never
Yeah.
thought about that. But that is a very important or prominent part that we can implement, having a mentor, because that person holds you accountable
Exactly.
to the art as well as to the decisions. Many times they say that the people that in the music ministry are not
Hmm.
dedicated, it just becomes a job.
Yeah.
It just becomes a fast check or wanting to get paid, or they hop.
Hmm.
Um, but as I know your family, you bring an anointing
Hmm.
with you, the power of God
Yes.
with you as you do what you do.
Yes,
With
ma'am.
that being stated, growing up through the years, how did that area, seeing people hop place to place, did you get caught up in that rat race first, or you automatically knew that you had to be seated?
No, I definitely didn't do that. I have testimonies of being a musician that get called all the time because it wasn't all about the money in the beginning. It was more so all about just making sure I was a blessing to whoever called me. Uh, I would take nickels and dimes just so that it can be feasible for whoever calls me. That's why I say be humble. I remember playing for a church. The pastor told me, he said, I want to challenge your faith. I want you to play for me for 6 months without pay. And I ain't gonna lie now, I'm like, 6 months. I'm already not charging nothing, but 6 months without pay. And I actually did it for 7 months. And it was like from there, like my ears, my the anointing through my fingers, it just manifests. And it was
Wow.
like I went from there to there to there. And I got to where God started opening up doors where you would think this person would get called, but I got called. So it was just like I said, being humble and putting the time in. God will always manifest his blessings. He will open up doors that you would not even. How did that door open? Because you couldn't do it. It was only for God. So
Wow.
it's just all about being humble. Being humble.
And that's amazing. It's been the importance, the music department is
Mm-hmm.
so vitally important in the church setting,
It is.
because we all know that music moves people. You
Exactly.
can come in and hear a melody from God and
Mm-hmm.
get delivered before you even hear a word.
It's right.
You know what I'm saying? So people have to be so sensitive, because what you said was that you begin to grow and mature in
Yes.
hearing, having the spirit of discernment and
Yes.
understanding how to operate in the voice of God. And that's powerful all by itself, because many don't have the ear to hear God's voice.
It's right.
And so it leads me to understand again the importance of music inside of the building or the edifice that we call church. But what
Exactly.
if we did not have music?
You're right.
What would actually occur with the church? What do you think would occur?
Ooh.
That's heavy. Yeah, that's heavy.
Probably worse than what we have now. Just people sitting at home
Wow.
watching online. I don't think they will be able to come to the church.
Wow.
And it's funny you said that because a lot of people don't really realize music is very important and vital in the church.
It really is.
but they take it as, you know, they can do it without. So we'll see how that goes.
Some people hear music. I'm telling you, some people can hear music in their sleep, or they can be
Yeah.
riding down the street and they have no idea, but just a
Mhm.
song come on and it'll move. Excuse me, it'll move their entire mood, a mode, and
Yeah.
setting for that day. You know how it's impactful. How you
Yeah.
go from the essence of being in His presence with worship. So
Hmm.
now you're in a praise.
Yep.
That's a deliverance all by itself.
All by itself.
How have your music and what you do on a day-to-day basis impact someone's life through deliverance?
Oh man, I've been through well, been to a lot of ministries where they have just Bible study. And, you know, soft, you know, it's all about the sound. It's all about hearing the voice. It's all about being in tune to who you're playing behind. A lot of times, us musicians, we're not in tune to who's speaking, singing, talking. You know, every part of the service has a part where you could do something with music. And I've seen where people would just come to me, was like, man, just that sound that you played made
Mhm,
me gave my life to Christ, or I got
mhm.
delivered because of the sound that you played, brought me to where, you know, God could really meditate and minister to
Wow.
me. So I have a lot of testimonies where a lot of people was definitely blessed with my gift. I definitely do.
That is awesome. I'm telling you, I have seen you blossom and sprout like it's amazing.
Yes.
It's amazing. The
Yes.
one thing, and I'm trying not to get into that, but the one thing is you jumping out the boat completely
Yes.
into the quartet arena. I never saw that coming, but that is phenomenal. And I'm telling you, the next half hour, I want to discuss that. But
Okay.
again, there are, because you touched on a valid point.
Mhm.
I like, and I know you play behind me. I like to hear when you play behind me. Everybody is not connected to that pastor or that person that they're ministering behind. You have to have that connection, because if
Exactly.
you don't, it'll throw things off. You
Exactly.
know when to come in, come into tune or connect with that individual. Would you say that takes time for you to do? Is that a preparation cycle, preparation period, or it's just something that occurs based on spirit? How does that happen?
All the above. I think, like I said again, it goes back to knowing who you playing behind. I know how you flow, and but that comes with really being in tune, praying for God, that God can use me to follow how He uses you. And so, first you gotta get self out of the way for one. You know,
Wow.
a lot of people like to go up there try to play all these certain. Look,
Wow.
I'm not where I need to be, but I do enough to where I never had a pastor say I didn't, you know, I didn't like your ministry tonight. It always been, man, what can I do to get you full time? And so it's all
Exactly.
because I study who I'm playing behind. I stay in tune. I make sure I meditate. I pray. I have a set of friends that make sure they pray with me before I go do
Oh,
anything.
that's
They pray for
good.
me at night. So it's all about just being humble again, studying your craft, and just making sure that you have people that can hold you accountable as well. That's another thing.
That is amazing.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, I like that. I like the fact that you keep talking about humility, because as a person is, I guess, desired, or their services are needed all
Yeah,
throughout the world, there is a sense of pride.
yeah,
And so knowing that you're musically inclined, because we know that that's a gift that only God can give.
exactly.
There's some people that can sing, and then there's some people that can play. There's some people can do both. There's a diversity of music, those
Yeah,
things in the spirit.
yeah,
But humbling yourself and getting self out the way,
yeah.
that right there, I think is vitally important. And everyone don't do that.
No,
I've seen a lot of minstrels literally fall from grace
yeah,
because of the spirit of pride. So,
that's it.
with that being said, have you experienced people around you that have fallen from grace? And then what's the next thing that they do once they fall?
They lose their passion.
Wow.
I had a close friend of mine. It's crazy you say that. I got a close friend of mine that I admire so much to where I wanted him to be my mentor. And he took a couple of wrong paths down the road and basically failed to the point to where now it's like he don't care. He done lost passion. He done lost the his love for it. So
Right.
now it's just like he'd rather go, you know, do some stuff that you wouldn't even imagine him to do. So it's like it's crazy. So I try not to. I just try to. In this day and time, I just feel like you have to uh, just stay in the face of God and stay
Hmm.
humble and just stay focused. If you don't
You
have no
really
one
do.
that is on the same pathway you're going, you gotta leave them behind.
That is amazing because I do hear about a lot of people that have fallen from grace,
Yeah,
and they're having a hard time getting back up. But then you have other people that have fallen from grace, they get back up and then they start over. It becomes a renewing in their spirit. The
yeah,
unfortunate thing is that some take that same path or that same road that Lucifer took, because we know that he was the minstrel in heaven.
that's right.
Literally, he was the minister of music in heaven.
Hmm.
And so
Hmm.
there's a lot of things that occur behind the scenes that we are not privy to. So, with that being said, what are some of the things, if you can talk about it, because I know some things are non-disclosure, but what are some of
Yeah.
the things that you've seen behind the scene, and you say, you know what, this is teaching me what not to do?
Well, you can't let personal issues conflict when it's time to do something for God. I feel like that's it's the saying that y'all say when you come in one way, leave another way. You can't come in the same and leave the same. You know, that's
Mm,
so I feel like if you got personal issues that you deal with at home, don't bring it to the church because now you got it to where now you just don't care. You just doing what you want to do. You might go drink you a little whiskey, you know what I'm saying, come to church, all slobbery, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things I've seen like witnessed. Uh, but all I can do is pray for them.
I got you.
Yeah.
This is a no judgment platform, so I'm gonna go deep. So at the
Okay.
end of the day, um, I don't know anything about those departments, but I've heard horror stories about how many go to clubs on Saturday and come to
Oh
church on
yeah.
Sunday, or how they, drink all the time, or how they have sex parties and, do different things and then sing. I feel like personally for me, it would be a dangerous thing to do because you playing with the spirit of God.
Exactly.
However, I do also understand everybody's not perfect,
Yeah.
and he who is without sin, let him cast the first stone.
You're
But I
right.
know when you come into the very presence of God, there has to be some sort of transformation that
You're right.
actually take place. Because if
Right.
there's no transformation, then something, just like you said, coming in, staying the same, and no transformation, then that's not maturity and growth.
You're right. I think what it is, a lot of musicians, um, everybody has their own religion. I mean, their own special way of saying they got a relationship with God. They just say
Right,
that. But I feel like if you was very spiritual, some places you won't want to do. You know, it's
right,
just like a taste. If you don't drink beer, but then you go somewhere and you drink the beer, you're like, nah, because it don't taste good. That's just
right.
like spiritual. I feel like I don't judge musicians because I know a lot of musicians do it because that's their livelihood. I got a couple of musicians that's humble. They don't drink, they don't smoke, but they'll be in there playing the little tunes. So, but I think if they had more of I won't say more. I would just say, some things people just, uh, I'm trying to get the word I want to use, uh, because I don't want to feel like I'm judging them.
Right. Or
But
bash it.
at
I
the end of
got
the,
it. I got it.
yeah,
But at
it's
the
like,
end of the day, the real is the real.
yeah, it's real. And I just feel like I mean, until you really get to that place with God, I think that's what it's gonna take for you to be like, you go turn down. But now you're putting all your trust and faith in God. You're not putting all your trust and faith in the little couple of dollars for a couple of hours. So it's just gonna take for them to really like ask God to like, or a lot of musicians don't trust God. They don't have faith
I
in
was
God.
just going to say, do they even have a relationship, or if they just doing it because they know they have a
Exactly.
gift? Have you literally, have they actually confessed salvation? Again, are they just operating off their gifts? Because
You're
a
right.
lot of people operate off their gifts and their talents. They just
You're
do.
right. You're right. You're definitely right on that.
Mm.
I agree. I definitely agree to that. I just think, if you had a relationship with God deeply, I don't think you would be doing that.
Right.
Because it's like a hypocrite.
Okay.
Because if you going out, let's just say you playing and God using you on Sunday, and you brought people to Christ, and then let's just say they're not all the way in, but then they see you in a nightclub somewhere, not dressed appropriate, and they don't know how to accept that. So
Right.
I mean, like I said, for me, I can't speak for other people, but for me, some places I don't even go out. Like clubs, even when I was younger, I didn't really go to clubs. You know what I'm saying? I tried it, but nah, it didn't work.
It just one for you. And it's not for everybody. It's just somebody. I told somebody the other day, we were talking. I said, the Lord must have knew what he was doing. I said, because had he given me the gift to sing and to play and to preach. Listen, Jeremy, they have a little thing going around on Instagram. Ooh, prepare to be sick of me. Prepare to be sick of me. They would have been sick of me. You hear me?
Yeah,
I would
lying,
have
boy. I tell my mama can preach now. She can preach. But I tell her, let my little sister handle the singing, baby.
That's it. Look, God knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing.
I said, Mom, let little sis take over. You started off with that her
I'm
but
telling
mama
you.
don't be caring. Mama be like, look, I'm gonna sing my song, but God be liking it or not. God love it. That's all
She
that
gonna make
matters.
a joyful noise, right?
Man, I'm trying to tell you. I'm like, Mom, this ain't the time to do
Oh
shouting.
my
Like, we in
God.
the church. We
I'm
got
telling
visitors.
you.
Yeah, man. So I
That
get it
is
though.
something. I said, Lord, you knew what you would do. I'm telling you, I would have been singing just for no reason. It's not
I'm
even
trying
time
to
to
tell you,
sing.
boy. You couldn't tell
I'm
me
telling
nothing. Sing and preach.
and play an instrument.
Oh,
Lord
boy,
have
that's it.
mercy.
That's
Oh, the
it.
little thing said you're prepared to be sick of me. You would have been sick of me because that's all I would have been
I'm
doing.
still trying to learn how to sing, boy. So I hear that. I hear it.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. Listen, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. You all stay tuned to Down to Earth Talk with my very guest, the maestro himself, none other than Jeremy Beckett. We'll be right back.
Dr. Cint Gilstrap presents Down to Earth Talk, conversations that inspires, educates, and are thought-provoking. Don't miss Down to Earth Talk, streaming live every Friday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. It's Down to Earth Talk with Dr. Cint Gilstrap. For more information how you can be a guest on Down to Earth, simply visit www.cintgilstrapministries.com. Need life coaching? Rescue, Refine, Restore Coaching and Counseling with Dr. Cint Gilstrap is a life transformational coach and has experiential training to transform and help you discover your best life yet. For all of your coaching and counseling needs, simply visit www.cgmenterprises.org.
And we are back. Listen, I'm excited on tonight because I have a very important important person and part even of my life. He's been around me for years because of his mom. I thank God. Every time I'm ministering somewhere, I always ask him if he's available because he's just anointed to do what he do. But on the last segment, we began to talk about different areas of ministry, how he got in ministry. How did you know? And one thing that touched me that he said he knew from the womb. So that he knew it, watch this, his mom and his parents knew that not only him, but the entire family, the Beckett family is amazing. And everyone in their family has a gift in music or a gift of art. So I thank God tonight for having Jeremy Beckett on my platform. I'm so excited for him. So again, welcome and thank you so much for taking out your time on a Friday because you are so busy. I thought I was busy, but now you everywhere. You doing everything at everybody church in it. I know in Georgia, so I can only imagine. So I thank God again for your presence.
That's right.
The last 30 minutes we talked about those things, but I want to dive in because he's doing something completely different now, and it just blows me away. At what point did you know that you had been birthed for the quartet area? How did you know? I mean, what sparked this? Was it something you seen? Was it you had a, you was excited about, Troy Raymond and the Soul Searchers or the Canton Spirituals or Luther Barnes and the Red Bus? I mean, how did you know that you would be a quartet singer? How did this all evolve?
Oh, definitely. It all came from my father. My father
Wow.
was a quartet singer
Mm.
before
And
he
what was
met
the
my
name of his
mom.
group?
So yeah, he was a bass player and the top singer for the quartet
Wow.
group. And oh my God, just memories. All we listened to was the violiniers and the keynotes. That's all me and my
Wow.
sisters listened to, all because of my dad. My
Wow.
dad was the one that partake music pretty much in me. Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yep.
I used to, when I was a little girl, I used to see quartet singer when I was younger. I saw
Mhm.
quartet singers as like R&B singers. So I
Yeah.
would, compare the Isla Brothers and the OJs, to but that's what it put me in the mind
Yeah,
of.
it do. It do. Temptations,
Yeah,
all
they
that.
just got
Yeah.
that, that different that little tone. And I remember when I started working for Mr. Bobby Hurd. Did you know Mr. Bobby Hurd? I
Man,
started
Mr.
working
Bobby
for Mr.
Hurd.
Bobby
Yes.
Hurd years ago, and he introduced me to the quartet arena. I had no idea
Yep.
about this arena, and I went to one of the concerts. The first one I attended with him was Lee Williams
Yep.
in Macon, Georgia, and
Hmm.
I could not believe how it was just different.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was.
almost like you was in a gospel setting, but in Macon, it was almost like you was at like an R&B concert because of the
Yeah.
way people, you know what I'm saying? I was
Exactly.
just like, okay, this is new for me. So what experiences have you had in that arena?
Oh my God.
You see
I
everything.
actually, Bobby Hurd, actually was like uh, a mentor to me. He actually brought. I had a group at the time called Unity out of Atlanta.
Wow.
He was very big. Him, his wife at the time, Sarah Hurd. Man,
Yes.
they definitely took us in as their own. And so, but I experienced a lot of big concerts. I had an opportunity to work with Esmond Patterson when he was doing
Yes.
the big quartet program down at the Civic Center downtown.
Yeah. Mhm.
Right now, Paul Dorsey,
Yeah.
he's one of the big promoters now that's always doing something. So I have a lot of experience in being in a backstage, on stage, and just to be there as a supporter. Yeah.
Yeah. That whole arena, it was amazing. I remember when, and a lot of people didn't know, but I thank God for Mother Sarah Hurd as well,
Yeah.
that Mr. Hurd had an electrical company during the daytime, which is
Hmm.
what I actually worked for over on Rainbow Drive. And
Yeah.
then I was able to meet all of the politicians and all of the
Hmm.
dignitaries and all of the people that used to campaign and do different things. And Mr.
Hmm.
Hurd kind of had his hand into everything. I've met so many people through him, and I was honored during the time that I was able to meet Albertina Walker,
Yeah.
Shirley Caesar, Dorothy North. See, a lot. I've never shared these things like this, but
Yeah.
I have met so many amazing people.
Mhm.
It's just they used to come down to the radio station because he had a
Yeah.
spot down to the radio station.
You did.
However, I used to go down there with one of my God. I guess I can call Mr. Boot Carter like my God uncle
Okay.
because
Hmm.
as he got sick, I used to sit on segments with him as 1480 YZE. And so
WYZ.
it was just amazing seeing them do what they do and how they put it together. It's a lot that goes into these concerts and shows and things that people don't realize.
Yeah.
What advice would you give someone that is interested in this arena but don't quite know how to get started or where to start?
Well, it's always about write the vision, make it plain. You want
All
to
right.
write down what's your vision, what's your goals, and then you want to get a group of people that can be on the same mind. You know, you gotta have people to be same mind, same focus, same purpose. Because sometimes quartet can get to a way where you have people that can be, I won't say jealous, but I say jealous because they see that they feel like you might get more shine than them, or when they think they done arrived and they feel like they can make it without you. So, my take would be, just make sure you just get a set of people that definitely believe in your vision and that definitely gonna trust in you making the right choice, you making the right decision, and back them up. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's amazing. Now you have your own group now called J Beck and Foundation.
God's foundation.
God's Foundation. And you gentlemen are always well dressed. Tell me how you were able to pull your group together.
Well, I can't lie. After I had my group Unity, I was definitely done with quartet. Far as actually having a group.
Okay.
Me playing, yeah, because I was still playing it. But as far as having my own group, yeah, I was done. I felt like Unity was the group that God wanted to be represent Atlanta. Because on a group that we really had out of Atlanta, Detroit Raymond and Lucille Pope. So, but we never had like a young group, and I feel like Unity was that group. So it kind of discouraged me that I didn't want to do it again. But then I had a couple of young guys that came along, and it was like, man, we need to do something, man. You got too many good songs, and we'll back you up, man. Let's do it. And basically, it just hit off from there. I started back, and once I did that, it just went off, just took off. I mean, I had some people that started, and I had some people that that's not here, but nevertheless, I still called them a foundation because they started with me. They paid the way. They, do thick and thin. It was right there, right by my side. So I never forget.
That kind of sound like the Temptations. One came on, one fell off, because just like you said, because of attitudes, one thing we have to be mindful of is there's a lot of competition in everything we do. And just like you said, one might think they get more shine than the other, but you all have to always know, and all of us that are in ministry have to always know that we work as a unit and as a team. There's no one that's better than or greater than the next. However, it could just be that person's time to excel or advance in their anointing and in their gift. And so people have to understand that everybody gonna get a turn, but right now it's just not your turn. So you got to wait till your turn in order for God to open those doors and airways to you. So I love that. What are some of the challenges that you all have faced in the building process and even in being consistent with the group?
Oh man, I took so many losses. Because quartet is kind of like how the record company do now. If you don't have any followings, or if you're not really being consistent, or I won't say performance, but if you won't minister to the ability that people are really engaged, they're not going to book you. So it's like you got to pay your way to get to certain areas just so they can hear you and possibly get an opportunity to keep coming back. So, but you take L's because, music, travelers, this is musicians, because nowadays you have to pay musicians. Back in the day, everybody was in, but now you got musicians that just hired to play. So you got to just respect that. Now, there'll be some times where they'll be like, if I say I want to do something that's going to enhance or better the group, they normally going to be there for me. But, I'm just a type of person, man. I know people's time is valuable, so I try to make sure whatever they get it. I don't get nothing. So I took a lot of L's. So um, it's very challenging. That's why you gotta have a game plan. You gotta have a
Right.
game plan. You gotta make sure you have try to find your sponsor. Try to find somebody that believes in you.
I was just getting ready to say that. How
Yeah.
important are the sponsors? And not only that, but the fact, are you considering being a gospel promoter? Would you consider that, or is it just automatic?
I wouldn't say I would consider me being a gospel promoter. I would say I wouldn't mind, but I know right now with since COVID came, Quartet has kind of like shifted a little bit in
Mm,
certain areas now. Because there's still some areas where it's really like at least 80 to 100% attendance.
okay.
But Atlanta, I think since Esmond Patterson days, Bobby Hurd days, Quartet kind of like, Paul Dorsey is definitely doing a good job. He's definitely doing a good job. But it's not as big as it was when the Bobby,
When they were
when
okay.
they was good set.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just being realistically, I think that uh, what I was wanting to do was just rebirth Quartet for the city
Okay.
of Atlanta. That's
Okay.
just my plan. Yeah.
That's very interesting, especially in your age,
Yeah.
the genre of your age. Because I remember then, I think the young group that was out was Darrell McFadden
Yep.
and out of New York, and they were
Yep.
the young ones that was in it. And
Hmm.
Mr. Hurd just really was in the area of pushing, making sure that they have that opportunity in that time. I guess when you have a promoter such as that or someone that's standing in your corner, they can open up doors and avenues for you, and you can just access those things. But yeah, you're right. Now, Troy Raymond and the Soul Searchers, they grew up with my dad in Monroe, Georgia.
Yep.
So yeah, Troy Ramey, and then there was another one I can't think of Mr. Washington name, but he had I never forget, and this is funny because he had a talking horse, and the horse used to talk with his foot, and his daughter name was Paulette, but they were
Yeah.
singing people, and
Mhm.
it's they really told the story, just like
Mhm.
R&B back in those days. They told the stories of their life.
Yeah.
And our signature song for our family reunion with Troy Raymond, I will never forget, and I'm telling my testimony now, is leaning, everybody leaning on the Lord. And
Yep.
so it's just a story within itself. Quartet, I think it literally undergirds, if you would, the culture of the
Mhm.
Black family and
Mhm.
what all of us has had to endure over the years of, slavery and bondage and, understanding church and the genres and the different denominations and all of those things. But to see you as young as yourself and the other men that you're connected to in this field and in this arena, you all have definitely embarked upon something great. And
Yeah.
so, I applaud you in that area to just continue to do what you're doing. You're
Yeah.
doing a phenomenal job because I definitely did not see these things coming. And so, with that being said, I know you do a lot of shows.
Yeah.
Uh, where are you all next? And what time and what information can you share with the audience so they can support? And I'm gonna come back to it at the end, but right now I'm thinking about it because I want to make sure that you get the exposure that your quartet group really deserves and desires.
I really appreciate that. Well, actually, we're singing tomorrow.
Okay.
Uh, we'll be singing tomorrow, uh, right off of Conley, Georgia, right down the street in Forest
Uh-huh.
Park.
Okay.
Um, it's gonna be at 5 o'clock. The
Mhm.
flyer will be on my page because I don't have all the information in front of me, but it's a guy that I call Uncle. His name is Ron Simpson and
Okay.
Reborn. They're having wear your favorite jersey, your football team.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's gonna go down tomorrow at 5 p.m. in Conley, Georgia.
Wow, that's amazing. One
Yeah.
thing you said, and I want to go back and recircle and touch base on it. You talked about sponsors.
Hmm.
For people that are just not getting into the quartet arena, they're not aware of the sponsorship and how it actually operate. How can you find what avenues do you take to find a supported sponsor, a good, what do you have to do?
Well, let's say you put your game plan together,
Hmm.
and whatever. The way I'm doing is it just God bless me around with, you know, millionaires or people that that I'm connected to, or that's my clients for my business. And I sent them. I said, listen, I'm putting something together and want to see if you want to be a part. And they have been a blessing to me. They sold and they believe in the vision, and that's how I start. But it's other avenues. You can go to the county, down to the city hall, and get the mayor involved. Maybe you can do something for the
Oh,
city,
wow.
you
Uh-huh.
know, and you just never know what can come out of that.
So you got to have faith, and you cannot
Yeah,
operate in the spirit of fear. You got to constantly be moving. Listen, I'm definitely excited about what you're doing, and I'm telling
yeah,
you, it is just amazing. I was
yeah.
totally shocked and totally surprised, but I know whatever you do, because of who your mom is, you're going to do it in the spirit of excellence.
Oh
So
yeah.
again, I congratulate you on everything that you're doing. Tell us about the other businesses that you hold, because you're an entrepreneur at heart. So tell us about some of the other things you have going on other than music.
Well, I have a car detailing business.
Okay.
It's called Fresh Ride Mobile, and I'm also a sound. I rent out sound equipment, so I set up for concerts, anniversary, church. Anything you have, and we have live sound where it covers everything. One of my businesses where I set up for a church on Sunday mornings for Wendy Smith. Pastor Wendy Smith, she's very known here in the city of Atlanta. So it's a blessing. I got that opportunity. But yeah, being a musician, have my own car detailing business and doing sound. That's pretty much right now. But I got some other things I'm working on, but I'm just waiting till it manifests before I say.
I love it. Listen. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm
Mhm.
telling you, I'm definitely excited. I'm in your corner, always praying for the Beckett family, as I
Mhm.
stated, and I am definitely excited about your future. Things just get bigger, and better from this place on. And we only who could hey, the sky's not the limit.
That's
The
right.
sky is not the limit.
The
So
best is
I'm
yet to come.
excited. Yeah, indeed, indeed. Listen, real quick, we're going to go to another break, and we'll be
Okay.
right back. I'm going to do some final words. You can do some final words. We're going to close it down. You all
Okay.
stay tuned to Down to Earth Talk with Dr. Cint Gilstrap. Or maybe we're not breaking. We're going to keep on going.
Okay.
Dr.
Uh,
Cint Gilstrap presents Down to Earth Talk, conversations that inspires, educates, and are thought-provoking. Don't miss Down to Earth Talk, streaming live every Friday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. It's Down to Earth Talk with Dr. Cint Gilstrap. For more information how you can be a guest on Down to Earth, simply visit www.cintgilstrapministries.com. Join Apostle Cint Gilstrap as she partners with Brighter Day Missions Liberia in expressing the love of God through educational empowerment, fighting for the rights of the children of Liberia, and hunger alleviation. Your love gift of any amount helps staff educators, provide food for the children, educational equipment, and so much more. To partner with Apostle Cint Gilstrap with Missions to Liberia, or for more information, simply visit www.cgmenterprises.org. The seed that leaves your hand never leaves your life, but goes into your future where it multiplies.
And we are back. Listen, it's exciting. It's also exciting to be on Down to Earth Talk, because this is a no judgment platform. Listen, we talk about all different topics of conversation, from the raw to the real to the right to the church, everything across the board, because this is a no judgment platform. And on tonight, I have a very special guest on the platform, on the show with me, none other than Jeremy Beckett. I call him the maestro himself. Listen, I know in throughout our path, and Jeremy played for me for many times, many times, but he's a main player with his mom at their church. But he connected with my old apostle Michelle L. Dixon.
Hmm.
And Apostle is no longer here with us.
Yeah.
God rest her soul. but the fact that he was able to make that connection, and I'm saying this because you never know what path God has for you unless you step out on faith and believe and trust in the gift or the talent that he has given you. I'm going to let Jeremy give some final remarks about that arena, because you cannot be afraid in this dispensation in time to do what God has called you to do, or what you know is pulling you to do it. Jeremy,
Yeah.
what are your final remarks on that?
Well, I definitely wanted to say thank you because I met Michelle Dixon through you. You was doing a revival at her church, and Mom was preaching,
She fell in love with you.
and she fell in love with me that night. And ever since then, I've been traveling behind her. I had a great experience with Mama Dixon from going
Yes.
back and forth to Detroit, Tampa. We didn't make it to LA. I didn't make it to LA with her, but it was on its way. And it definitely hurt me when she had left us. So,
Yeah.
but if it had not been for you, I would have had the opportunity. So thank you. But final words would be, man, just stay humble. Stay humble. Be yourself. Don't allow people to change who you are. You don't have to put up and show them that you this person. Just be yourself. Be yourself. I think if you be yourself, um, things will just flow easier for you. Because only person you gotta please is God. Nobody else. And I had to learn that, there's a lot of things I learned in life as a musician too, is you gotta have balance. You gotta have balance. Once was married, and I know that was one of the things that kind of conflict that was because of my unbalance. And so I live and I learn. And I just say nowadays it's all about balancing your life, in anything you do. Give yourself some me time. And just stay on the face of God. That's pretty much all I have to say.
I was looking at one of your posts, and on your post you said, I take pictures with many women. Everyone I take pictures with, I'm not dating. Are you looking at getting remarried anytime soon, or is part of your future?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking to get remarried. I think there's a wife out there for me. Uh, I'm not rushing it because I still have some things that I need to work on. But other than that, yeah, I'm definitely looking to get remarried. Definitely.
I thought that was so
Definitely.
funny. The thing took me. I said, listen,
No,
now
but
you in
man, I mean, you know how it is. You can
Oh,
walk
I
in.
already know. When you are in that
Yeah.
arena, that's why I was saying what I said about making. I had never seen, and
Yeah.
I'm really not going into detail, but this thing is serious. I seen some women do something.
Oh, trust me,
That
you
was my
learn.
first time. I was just like, what?
And I think
I
that's
was
what I
like,
think nowadays is yeah,
I
yeah.
thought, listen, I thought we was doing R. Kelly. I'm telling you, I was
And,
just
and
like,
it can get rough. You got these
it
women every
gets
time you go
real
somewhere,
and
women here,
rough. I
there.
said, oh my God.
Yeah,
It
yeah. It's
was like one
definitely
of those
something.
situations. What goes on in Vegas stays in.
They and listen, I tell my guys, man, even though we won't be doing nothing crazy, because we want. I tell them we want to be different from the others. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? We don't want to always be seen in somebody's face so people can have something to say. So we
Exactly.
try to do stuff where it's not looking like as we, like other
Right.
folks.
Right.
So it's a big impression that we try to uphill. That's all.
Absolutely. That comes with integrity. I remember Pastor Hopkins used to say, don't never allow your anointing to carry you where your character cannot keep you. And character and integrity means everything. And we have to learn
Yeah.
how to operate at that caliber of character and integrity and do it in the spirit of God. Because don't allow your good to be evil spoken of.
That's it.
Everybody is not meant to know your weaknesses. If you still have
Mhm.
weaknesses, bring those things to the house and you deal with them in the face of God. But you don't have to show the world all of your weaknesses, because everybody don't understand. Just like you said earlier, it's all about balance. It's
Yeah.
all about balance. One more thing I want to ask you, because you brought it up, and I'm so glad that you did. You went through a divorce.
Hmm.
How did it affect the music, or did it at all? Because I know your ex-wife and I know she's in music.
Hmm.
So how did it affect the music inside of you?
Um, well, one reason why it did affect me a little bit
Okay.
because majority of the places that I have gone to minister, she was right there because she was a
Okay.
singer, and we gelled so well together when it came to her singing or me playing. But as far as effect, it didn't really affect because I think at that point I was at a different stage in my life where I
Okay.
wasn't really traveling and playing as much as I was while we was married.
Okay.
I really slowed down a lot. You know, I was to be whoo. I was doing at least about 6, 7 churches. I ain't gonna hold. But I think around that time I got kind of stable at this church down in Covington, Georgia, and I've been there now going on 8 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've been there now 8 years. So by me playing there, I think that was God kind of slowing me down because I couldn't get
Okay.
everywhere. What I was doing in churches was right in the circle. You know what I'm saying? When you going way down Covington, Georgia, you trying to go away, it ain't gonna work.
Exactly. Yeah, because I remember
So
you were playing over on Hill Street.
I was playing at Hill Street. Yep.
I
And
remember
one
that.
time I was playing I was going from Covington all the way to Hill Street every Sunday. And
Wow.
I couldn't do it. It
Oh,
was
that's
just too much.
burnout.
It was burnout. It
Is
was
it a
burnout.
such thing as music burnout? Is it a such thing as that?
Is it? Because I mean, not to be funny, a lot of churches, man, they do this thing with volunteer. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. It's
That's
fine
fair.
because people they feel like they got the ability to sing, but it can be mentally draining if they can't sing. So it's like you got to deal with playing and hearing them, and then the travel, and then it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. So you got to be mentally ready for music as a minister. Music.
Apostle Gibbs is on here tonight, and thank you, Apostle, for being on. She said she was raised in Covington. What's the name of the church, Jeremy, that you play for?
Oh, she go by Pastor
Oh, she knows you.
Lamar Elsie Bell down at Faith
Okay.
of Jesus Ministries.
All right, amen. We definitely
Mm-hmm.
thank God for you. I'm telling you, this has been an exclusive, and I have definitely enjoyed the conversation. That's why I said, no, we're just gonna talk tonight
Yeah.
because there were some things that I just want to know. Your cousin is on here, Pastor LC Weeks. So we thank God for the man of God and his ministry.
Oh yeah.
For what he brings to the table. Why Take Ministry? We appreciate you and your mom showed up. So we thank God for each and every person that showed up on tonight. Listen, this has been a very, very important conversation because a lot of people hear music, but they don't understand.
Yeah.
Last but not least, I want to say this. No, well, I got two more things to say. People know music, but they can't read music.
Yeah.
Is it something that a person should know both, or that's only if you playing, but singing is different?
Yeah. Singing is different.
Okay.
Singing is different. Reading music is definitely something that you would love to have in your resume.
Okay.
It depends on how far you're trying to go in music. Now, if you're just trying to learn to play just to play for a church and that's it, and get that ear together. But if you see yourself taking your music craft to another level, I think reading is definitely something you want to have on your resume.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing, last but not least, you were talking about all the things that you do. Now, do you all actually produce the music, write the music, or someone else is writing for you all, or how does that actually flow?
Every song that I've pretty much put out, I've written or somebody in the group, has helped written or it's their song. So we try to do our own original music. No discredit to the ones that's out there, but it's not benefiting the group. If we sing somebody else's song, we only benefit them. So I always thank God for just give me the gift to write music. I have well over, and not just quartet music. I also have contemporary. And, I'm actually in the process of writing an album for like a love album. A lot of people are lost. A lot of people have got hurt for love, and just don't give up on love. Love will find you. So
Let me tell you something. People say this all the time, and it's so funny. I tell them all the time when my next husband come, I'm not gonna be listening. Don't take me to the cross.
Oh
I need
no,
something. Okay, I'm
no.
gonna put on Luther. Call me what you want to, but I
Yeah,
will
I'm trying
not
to
be.
tell you. Put
Take
some
me to
Lenny
the
Williams
king.
on, girl. You
Hide me
know I
behind
love
the
you. I'm
cross.
trying to tell you.
So we gonna need that, Jeremy.
Oh yeah, we definitely gonna need that because I definitely ain't coming home after a long day of service. If you talking about some every praise you I got, you better every praise you might have at that church.
Right.
Yeah, that's for real. No.
So I
You gotta
want
have
to
Ben
listen.
Luther.
Now it's time for that balance. Listen, baby, it's time for that balance. Now I'm at
Man, let
home.
me tell you
Listen, the
something.
robe come off,
Tank
and I'm
ready,
just
boy. You
sitting.
hear me? I'm trying to tell you, boy. I'm trying to. I'll wait on you to say that. Woo.
Listen, it's not gonna be any of that. Your cousin
Nah.
said Jeremy is the man. Shout out to you. I hear you. Listen, Jeremy is a man. I call him Maestro all the time. Last but not least, if I'm interested in doing a worship CD.
Mhm.
Do you all offer what do you call it? Studio time to do something like that?
Yes, we do. We do have
Okay.
a studio. I have some amazing, gifted musicians that works along with me, and we definitely working on. We actually working on. I used to do a concert called Night with the King. I don't know if you remember. I used to host a Night with the King worship experience, and I'm actually getting ready to do it live.
Okay.
All original music.
Hmm.
So just stay tuned to that. So yeah, we do have a place where you can record. We
Okay.
do have a place where you can do your live streams, where you can do videos for your YouTube and stuff. So it's a lot of things that we're working on in 2024 to be a
Okay. That's
blessing because it's not all about the money, but it's in the same time your gift made room. So, but we don't really try to knock nobody over the head. It just, you know what I'm saying, we just want to show our appreciation. You show appreciation to us. That's all.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, with that being stated, listen, our hour has come and it's time for us to depart the call. I'm excited and thank you so much, Jeremy. I'm telling you, you just a vast array of information, knowledge, and music. And do know and understand. I respect what you do, always have. I honor you, your family, and I thank God for you again taking out your time to grace us with your platform. So I just appreciate you. And, I'm giving you your flowers where you can hear from my voice because we never get too holy and
Yeah,
have all these titles and degrees that we forget where we come from or the
exactly.
people that we've passed along the way, those that have helped us, inspire and push us and support us. So I thank God for you. You continue on this path that God is giving you. I'm so excited about your future and what it holds. So again, congratulations, big shout out to you
Yeah,
and your group, your team, and everyone that assists you behind the scene. Because at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, we make it look good, but y'all really don't know
they
the
don't know
price we have to pay and what we have to sacrifice to do what we do.
a
And
lot.
so sometimes blood, sweat, and tears come and we show up and
Mhm.
shine, but you have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. So with that being said, again, thank you. I want you to leave the audience on tonight with your contact information or anything you want to say before we close out the segment.
Well, if you're looking to book J Beck, God's Foundation, that's the Quartet Group. We can be reached at 470-818-8135, or you can send us an email at bookgodsfoundation@gmail.com. Or if you're looking for uh, minister music or somebody to come and minister and playing or singing, I do accept those invitations as well. I can be reached at 678-559-2083. And that's how you can contact JBEC.
Amen. And he actually didn't give you all the information because he's definitely a social media influencer, especially on what is the one? Jeremy, you talk on almost every week. What is the one?
Oh,
Clubhouse.
oh yeah,
Clubhouse.
Clubhouse, Clubhouse.
Yes.
Well,
So
I kind of been off lately.
really, you have a
They done
following on there
updated me.
though.
It
You
ain't
have
the
a
same.
following.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
ain't the
so he's
same.
actually on Clubhouse. He's actually on social Facebook. I don't know if you're on Instagram or not. I hadn't
Yeah,
seen
I'm
you.
on Instagram.
Okay,
I am on
okay,
Facebook,
all
and
right.
I got some platforms that I'm working on. I actually just started one that's called the Singles Chat, where
Okay.
if you're single, I have different ages, and sometimes we be too busy. We can't go out. We don't like to go out.
You know,
And
that's huge. That's huge.
yeah,
That's huge.
so that's something that I've been working on. God has gave me the gift of, and then I also have a platform where we hold each other accountable,
Accountability
and
platform.
accountability, and we try to make sure that we motivate one another and just keep one another accountable.
I
Make sure we keep.
love that. That is
Mhm.
amazing.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
that's definitely that's a good thing. That's a good thing because
Yeah.
sometimes as adults we just need to vent, but you can't vent to everybody because people are very judgmental,
That's right.
especially if they know you. So
Exactly.
sometimes you just want to release yourself where you don't be judged, you're not under a light, you're not being, just ripped apart, but you can
Mhm.
just be your authentic self. So I love that. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for joining us tonight. Um,
Anytime.
Jeremy, I'm telling you, I so appreciate you always. I'm praying for you, your
Yes, ma'am.
family, your love, your mom. That's my girl.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's the preaching machine. Everyone who's connected to me, I've named them, I've given them a pet name.
You sure have.
Your mom said you the preacher machine too, but I said no, you can preach. She can preach with the best of them, baby. She'll preach you under the bleachers because she got that old and that new.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
and that new.
yeah, and then Dr. Apostle Gibbs, she's the demon slayer, baby. She'll
Oh
slay
yeah.
you in the spirit
I
in
know
a
about those
minute.
Gibbs.
And
Oh yeah.
and
I know
don't
about
think
those
nothing
Olivia
about it.
Gibbs now.
Listen, you don't even see it coming.
I'm trying to tell you, man. And you been thinking like
How
that
that
Dr.
happened?
Gibbs over there? Yeah, Dr. Gibbs got it now.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we
I've been to
thank
some of
God
her
for
services.
Apostle
Yeah.
Gibbs. I'm telling you, she the demon slayer. And then
Yeah.
we have Pastor Freeman. She always
Oh
telling
yeah, man.
a story, a poetry, a rhyme.
I played for her too. So yeah, I know. I know. Freeman,
And
man,
then we
that's
have,
way back in
I'm
Washington
telling
Road
you, we got
days.
Apostle Lynn, and she always come with colors. I'm telling you,
Oh
this
yeah.
has been something. And
Yeah.
I love these women of God. They are truly rooted and grounded in the word. So, they say that I'm an old school, new school. I got an old
Right.
soul, but I'm still young. So I thank
Wow.
God for my sisters in ministry because we hold each other accountable. So I thank
That's
God
it.
for that.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
all
I
that
thank
matters.
God for that. Yeah, I thank God for that. You need that. And I love what you're doing. So keep doing it. Keep me updated on that because I would love to be connected to just come and, chime in to see what's going on. One thing about me is I'm very diverse.
Mhm.
I'm not straight across the board where it's just
Yeah.
church, church, church. I want
Yeah.
to know what's going on in politics. I want to
Yeah.
know about, what's going on in the school systems. I
Mm-hmm.
want to know about what's going. You have to be well-rounded and
Yeah.
what's going on with the young people because if you're not going to be able to keep up with all the things that's going on, you're going to miss something. So I
That's it.
thank God for my 30-year-old because she thinks like I don't think. I'm not thinking about what she's thinking, but we can mend it and mold it together to be something great. So you all keep your mind open and don't just
Mm-hmm.
be stuck in tradition because we
Yeah.
moved out of tradition into a new wave and era of what we call technology. And now we're in modern advancement, even the more dealing with AI and technology like that. So I thank God for you all. Again, I thank God for you, Jeremy, and what you have discussed with us. And I'm grateful and thank you. Everyone that chimed in, your mom is on here. She said, yes, Lord, Pastor Freeman and Pastor Lynn Walter. So, yeah, I thank God for you. With that being said, our time has expired. My name is
Okay.
Dr. Cint Gilstrap. This is Down to Earth Talk. My very guest on tonight, Jeremy Beckett. Listen, we appreciate you. Before we let you go, I love to say this. I cannot go anywhere without you saying it. Those of you that are on the call tonight and you do not have a relationship with Christ, this
Right.
is my time to offer Christ to you. Romans 10:9 says that if thou shalt confess with thy mouth and believe in thy heart that Christ was raised from the dead, then thou shalt be saved.
That's right.
Confession tonight is known unto salvation. And if you confess that, you entered into a safe place with God, but now it's time for your work to begin. You begin by opening a Bible and getting a Bible, obtaining a Bible, and now finding you a on fire church that you are operating in. Your gifts are being developed. You're not just sitting down, but you're being molded because you have a work to do. We're living in perilous times, which is what the Bible says. So we need to know and understand it's time for us to make soldiers and disciples. So I'm so honored tonight if you gave your life to Christ. And also those that said, you know what? I've already given my life to Christ. However, I backslid. The Bible says in Jeremiah 3:14, you're married to the backslide. He's married to you. You probably strayed away, but guess what? He's connected to you. You're a servant unto God. God is saying, come back into the fold and the ark of safety, according to Psalms 91:1. He said, I have a secret place for you. In that secret place, I'm a firm believer that God is going to restore you in the secret place of the Most High God. With that being stated, we thank God for you on tonight, and we love you. There's nothing you can do about it. What I ask you to do is hug somebody, love somebody, and forgive somebody because God forgave you. Until the next time, this is Down to Earth Talk with Dr. Cint Gilstrap. Have a wonderful, powerful, prosperous night. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Need life coaching? Rescue, Refine, Restore Coaching and Counseling with Dr. Cint Gilstrap is a life transformational coach and has experiential training to transform and help you discover your best life yet. For all of your coaching and counseling needs, simply visit www.cgmenterprises.org. Thank you for joining Down to Earth Talk with Dr. Cint Gilstrap. This episode is brought to you by VOC Magazine, Voices of Champions. If you would like to be a sponsor or advertise on this show, visit www.cgmenterprises.com for more information. Dr. Cint Gilstrap presents Down to Earth Talk, conversations that inspires, educates, and are thought-provoking. Don't miss Down to Earth Talk, streaming live every Friday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. It's Down to Earth Talk with Dr. Cint Gilstrap. For more information how you can be a guest on Down to Earth, simply visit www.cintgilstrapministries.com.